some well-meaning friends would say, well, you have to have more faith.
It's a lot of responsibility on you.
Yeah. I said, why don't you use your faith?
What is up, everybody? My name is Father Christian, and welcome back to another episode of The Poor, where faith and culture are served together. Now, today, we're going to be talking about resiliency in the face of a major medical condition. Maybe you can relate to this or something that's very similar to this. You're not going to want to miss this episode of how do you continue to find God and seek God in a very trying time in your life. Today, we're going to learn about a medical example of that is very powerful and will pull on our hearts. So let's get to it, because the person who has come on the show today is our favorite attorney here in town. It is Jeff Thomas from Thomas & Thomas. Yay! Good to have you here. You just knowing what you've been through, you drove here on your own, you got out of the car, you walked in here because there was a season when that wasn't happening.
Right, exactly right.
As you can tell, he sounds like Barry White. We can now have our drink. Welcome to The Poor. Okay. We have Stoke, today's sponsor. They don't know it yet, but they will. Shaken, not stirred, iced coffee. We have to drink this whole thing by the end of the episode. So the episode will probably be like 4 minutes today, because we're just going to be jacked. I don't want to put my hands in your ice.
Okay.
So, and that's not a metaphor. All right. You say when, sir.
When? I don't think I've ever had iced coffee before.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Always hot.
Oh, look at this. Well, cheers to you.
Thank you. Cheers to you. It's delicious.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Well, that's
delicious.
fantastic. You've seen a lot of divorces.
Yes.
So like over thousands?
Thousands.
So in your religion, it's okay for you to be married to thousands of women?
Not at the same time.
So you married all of those women individually at separate times and then divorced them?
Yes, we in my religion, we weren't allowed to actually have 1,000 wives at it. You had to do it one at a time and then divorce them one at a time.
So you yourself have been married 1,000 times?
Almost. I call them sister wives a lot of times.
He saw the joke and he went right for it. As an attorney, divorce was one of your big foci.
Yes, I was board certified by the Florida Bar in divorce for 30 years.
The irony of this is that you also have spent a good deal of your life ministering to couples and helping them get to a place where they would never have to divorce.
I sort of had the ability to tell them what's going to happen in court if you go to court, and it's a bad thing. It's devastating. I mean, it is taking persons' whole feelings, beliefs, and they're being crushed. I mean, this was the person that you were supposed to grow old with, and either you had kids with, and so there was a belief when you went into it that it wasn't going to end.
You've been practicing law for over 42 years?
Right.
And you just recently paid off your school loans.
It did take almost that long to pay off the school loans, because my wife was also an attorney, so we had to pay off her school loans and my school loans. So it was...
See, kids, there's hope for you. Yeah, Gen Z and Gen Y. By the time you have children who are having children, you too will pay off the school fees as a successful attorney. When you were in the middle of these divorce proceedings and meeting with folks, you're a man of faith. You know the power of God to really help heal a marriage. Was there ever a temptation to just say, do you really want to do this? Or was there a way you could even suggest that, even though you'd be talking yourself out of work?
I couldn't suggest it to both of them, because then I would have a conflict of interest. But before it started, I would say divorce is not the answer. It's not greener on the other side. In fact, one guy came in and he said, I want to get divorced. And I said, why? And he said, my wife wants a Rolex. She won't take out the garbage, and she gained 15 pounds. And I said, did you see that lady that just left? He said, yeah. I said, she just paid me $250,000 for a trial. How much is the Rolex? Well, it's like $8,000. Have you ever taken out the garbage? No. And I said, all right, here's what I would recommend. Get your wife a gym membership. Take out your own garbage and buy her the Rolex, because you're either going to pay $8,000 or $250,000 if it's a real. He had a retainer written out. He closed his checkbook and left.
At least you tell them right from the front The grass is not greener. I just want you to know that.
Right.
You had a very successful legal career going on, and then it just all hit the fan, and began this this journey that you took, this season in the desert for 15 years of some serious health issues that really just derailed everything. So how did that begin?
I was sitting in the Stuart Park down by the river walk. I used to go there all the time to write briefs and get ready for trials. And all of a sudden, everything started spinning to the point where it was like I had to call somebody to come get me and take me over to the hospital because I couldn't do my work. I went into the hospital, vertigo, full out, spinning. After 15 years, just kind of stopped.
15 years.
Yeah.
Nonstop spinning.
Yes. I really couldn't close my eyes because it made it worse. So for the first couple of years, I didn't really sleep. And I couldn't read because movement of the eyes or any, like if you went into a grocery store and all the colors and people coming at you would trigger it worse. So I kind of fixed my gaze on a spot and left it there to the point where after 15 years, I had to relearn how to walk, move my head.
Not being able to sleep will bring on major issues.
Yeah, I think not having to sleep may be the third leading cause of homicides. I'm not sure, but
Not taking your own life,
Yeah.
taking someone
somebody
else's.
else's life. When you don't sleep, you get grouchy. But so the spinning triggered motion sickness, so I was always sick. I felt like I was seasick all the time. I had to keep throwing up. I couldn't read. I couldn't watch movies. I couldn't watch television. It's basically, I just kind of looked around. I got kind of a hobby in quantum physics, and whenever I could read something, I would be reading about that and discussing quantum physics with my dog Bella, who was very smart before she died.
Right, yeah. She had a PhD by the time she
Right.
first dog. And you couldn't work, obviously.
I could not work. I could not drive.
You were Job, just sitting there.
I was just sitting there. At first, it was, okay, maybe this is just going to last for a few days. And then it was like, maybe it only lasts for a week. And it was like, maybe a month. So I went to like 50 doctors, and everybody had a different idea how to do it.
What was your discussion like with God? Did you ever think that he was punishing you?
I never blamed God for causing it. Now, he may intervene.
Well, you've seen it personally.
Right. I prayed over people, and they've been healed, and I've seen others. So it was like, I kind of know you can, but why isn't it happening? The lawyers around here took up a collection. They collected money for me to go up to Johns Hopkins. So I was up there for like a week or two doing tests. One of the doctors said, all right, I got good news for you and I got bad news for you. I said, all right, what's the bad news? You're never going to feel any better than you do right now. Now, this was like horrible news to me.
Yeah.
I said, all right, what's the good news? And the doctor said, it's not terminal. I'm thinking, do you think that's good news? My grandmother lived to 106, and that is every day. But until I'm 106, I'm going to be a visit.
Side matter
Better
wasn't
news
great.
if you said you got 2 weeks, get your stuff together, you're going up there.
You're actually what to hear after that was that I'm going home.
God told Moses, he said, my name is I am, which to me meant right now in the present. Christ told the thief on the cross, he said, today you will be in paradise. I believe that today is a different today. It's a continuous moment. It's a today that never ends. You're always in the moment with God. Some well-meaning friends would say, well, you have to have more faith.
It's a lot of responsibility on you.
Yeah. I said, why don't you use your faith? I said,
If you have so much faith.
Yeah, if you have so much faith, why are you praying me?
Yeah, because James says,
Yeah.
go to the elders of the church, pray over the sick.
Anoint, and
you got some responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, take out your own trash.
That kid that was in the coffin, they were doing the burial, and Jesus came up and touched the coffin. The kid came right out of the coffin. That guy didn't have any faith. He was dead. Same with Lazarus. Because of my quantum physics, we're actually spiritually entangled with Christ. That means that they would superimpose with another electron, and then they could split the electron and send it 1,000,000 miles away. If you touched one, the other one would react.
Oh my gosh, that's the entanglement.
Yeah, that's what entanglement is. So I'm thinking, at the very least, spiritual entanglement.
So this idea of just being entangled with Christ because he elevates us, our understanding, our mind to be part of the divine mind. Sounds like that really helped in your walk. A big MVP in this is your wife, who just did not leave your side. You did Eastern, Western medicine. You did everything. Where did it finally break open?
I lost my job. We lost our house. All the finances were getting burned up. I was, disabled. I chose abundant life out of faith that Jesus had. He said he came to bring life and life more abundantly. So I said, well, if I'm entangled with him,
Yeah.
I started slowly getting better.
Once you chose abundant life.
Right.
That was a turning point.
That was a turning point. First, with my observations, it's sort of like I could see God moving and everything. And I started seeing that God never stopped talking to me and never stopped loving me. I had to reel out my definition of who I am versus who he says I am. I would say I'm a knucklehead, and he says we are the righteousness of God in Christ.
He is rewiring your brain from mortal mind to divine mind. How do you start to think and act like Christ?
Right. How do you see abundant life wherever you go?
Yeah. Even in a hellish circumstance.
I mean, Christ went to hell, supposedly,
Yeah,
and descended
that's
before he came back up.
That's
so
right.
it's like,
That's right. But they've changed some things with like your glasses and certain
Right.
things that can help counteract some of the stuff that's going on. And now you're at a place where now you can drive. And where would you say you're at today?
I'd say more like 85, 90%.
Yeah, that's incredible. How has that now changed you?
I call it a jeweler's eye because I can see people and I can see either their divinity or their brilliance. I can see streaks in them.
God has trained you to really see the divinity in all people. During your 15 years, you and your wife were ministering to couples.
Right.
And you started mentoring to men. I'm sure you steered the course of many marriages that might have gone south. And you speak with such authority because you've seen so many marriages go dark. So now you're back at your law firm. You open up a new law firm.
Right.
Thomas and Thomas, you and your wife are taking on the world.
And it's nice to have the jeweler's eye on the clients of where their brilliant sponsor gold veins are, and I can encourage them even when they're going through their worst time.
That's so needed right now, my brother, because we've become very cynical.
Yes,
we as a community, we've become very cynical, and there's a lot of despair, and there's a lot of divided lines. And as Christians, we need to be able to see. We need to have the jeweler's eye, as you put it. We always ask everyone who comes on the show, where do you think the church will be in 25 years? And just from hearing you speak, part of me thinks that it's a place where we can allow the jeweler to see the beauty in all of us.
Yeah, there's some art, I forgot the name of it, that the Japanese have done. They take a beautiful vase and they smash it. Have you seen that? Yeah. And then they put every piece back together and they use gold to solder it all back together. And then it's more beautiful than it was before it broken.
That's right.
It's like God put everything back together, so it's like...
That's you.
Well,
He took it apart. It wasn't fun.
According to his definition, he gets to define.
Yeah.
We don't.
Well, my brother, God bless you.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can't imagine a world without Father Christians.
We just hope we can just keep on saying yes to God and have him do what he does. And we'll just,
Amen.
I follow you, Lord. All right.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Please subscribe, like, and share. And please do share this with someone right now who could really use to hear Jeff's story. So thank you, Jeff from Thomas and Thomas, to Jeff Thomas and Christian here at St.Marys Episcopal Church and here in Stuart, Florida. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
When he said my wife won't take out the garbage, in my brain, I was thinking, garbage. I don't think my wife has ever taken out the garbage. How did he ever get his wife to take out the garbage?